Let's get it. Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Tay. This is the Influence Podcast. We focus on growing our relationship with God, our relationship with self, and our relationship with people. Wifey is not with me today. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to be able to... We didn't think we'll have a pod or anything like that. So she's resting, working, things of that nature, doing the motherly thing and all of that, you know what I'm saying? Being an awesome wife, the awesome mother that she is. So today, I'm dolo. But I'm hoping to still provide substance, some quality, and some practical things that y'all can take away to aid you in your relationship or your marriage, because it works either way. We're continuing. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. John Gray. You know, we'd already dropped a couple pods with that. So if you haven't checked those out, go ahead and check that out. Make sure you hit the bell notification, subscribe, hit the like button, get in the comments and let me know your thoughts when you watch the video. This is for you and yours as always, man. So definitely put your people on. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. So, excuse me. So this one is called Speaking Different Languages. So like I said, this book has been really good, and I advise y'all to go ahead and cop it. I think it's really helpful, and I've seen how some of the things that he's brought up in this book have been some things I've practiced or my wife has, and I really think that, like I said, when we first started, I really feel like, you know, God really spoke to this man and tried to break down to him, like, yo, this is how women are wired. This is how men are wired. Now, everything, it ain't going to be 100% perfect, but he definitely has a lot of things in here that just basically explains the differences in the way men move and women move. And once you have that understanding, it'll help you in your relationship, because instead of approaching them thinking, all right, I'm a woman, so this is how I move, so this is how I'm going to approach him. Or I'm a man, this is how I will move, or this is how men move, I'm going to approach her like this. You understand the differences in how we think and how we feel, and so that should aid you in approach with understanding so that y'all can have, you know, a better relationship and things of that nature. So this one, Speaking Different Languages, dang, hold on. I feel like I got hair just on my lip. Excuse me, again. So Speaking Different Languages, he's basically getting at how we communicate differently. And he gives this example of how women use words. They use, he says, poetic license to use various superlatives, metaphors, and generalizations to fully express their feelings. And so he goes into how, an example, he says, a woman will say, I feel like you never listen. And she doesn't expect the word never to be taken literally. Using the word never is just a way of expressing the frustration she is feeling at the moment. It is not to be taken as if it were as if it was factual information. And so this is, to just get right into it, this is the number one mistake that us men, we make. Well, not the number one, but it is one of our mistakes that we make. So, and I'm guilty of it. You know what I'm saying? Me and wifey, we going back and forth. She used one of them truth claim, or not truth claims, but one of those like big words like never. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm hearing never. So like he said, they use big words or words that make it seem dramatic in order to really get you to understand this is how I feel, not to be taken literally. And so how does this miscommunication or misunderstanding cause problems? It's because when us as men, and like I said, I'm guilty of it too, then we address the never. And as we talked about in previous episodes, um, then like me and my wife, we had said, for me, I've learned that my wife just wants to feel heard. She wants to be felt. She wants to be understood. So I got to give her empathy first. Then I can give her advice or correction if that's even what she's looking for. But for the most part, women are just looking to be heard and be understood. They just want to know I ain't crazy, right? Like, essentially. So this becomes a problem because we address the word instead of what it is, the root cause of what she's really saying. And so we react in an unsupportive manner, as he said. So he has a list of 10 common complaints that are easily misinterpreted by men. But I'm going to just give y'all two that I have responded to or misinterpreted when my wife would say it. But like I said, go get the book. It's definitely beneficial. So my wife, she might say something like, I remember early, when our son was born, right? She would say something like, "Oh, I feel like I'm doing everything. I feel like I have to do everything, or I feel alone." So when I heard that, I heard, "Oh, so you think I'm just some bum sitting around?" Like and it's really sad that there are really women out here who have a child and the father's around, but the father don't get busy. He don't put in no work. They gotta constantly yell, constantly talk to him. Yo, can you take out the trash? Can you change the diaper? Can you go get the bottle? Can you do this? Can you do that? Like, these are things that I felt like, yo, babe, you don't even say that to me. You don't have to say it to me. Now, there's certain things that she's more on top of pertaining to like milk storage and all this other stuff. I feel like in a marriage, everyone has their thing. And milk and all of this stuff and motherhood, that's her thing. So I let her, hey, babe, what you need me to do? I take the step back, and let her run the show. And then I make sure that I'm there. But I have my own routine and things that I do. But I felt like when she said that, I'm like, yo, you act like you got to ask me to change a diaper. Or you got to ask me to take out the trash. Certain things. And I'm just like, you really, I'm hearing you saying you feel alone. So now I'm taking it as a slap in my face for all the work that I do because you're not alone. So why do you feel alone? You don't do everything. So why do you feel like you have to do everything? So like I said, we take those words and we start attacking that instead of saying what I should have heard was, I feel overwhelmed. Can you help me? You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things. Or another thing that she would say is like, "Oh, you don't care about me." And I'm sure a lot of us fellas have heard that, Jane. And it's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean I don't care about you? How, like, so I take it as you think I don't love you. When I should be hearing, I could use some extra affection or attention or something like that. So like I said, we make that mistake of attacking the word instead of asking and digging deep into, what's the root? What's going on? What you need from me? So that causes arguments. And back to what we talked about in other pods, women want to feel validated. They want their feelings validated. So if you start attacking the word, you're going to immediately invalidate the feelings, fellas. So that's the problem at hand. And so he put in the book that a common complaint that women have is that they don't feel heard. But I think the reason for this is because, even as he says, and it's explained through the book, that men and women are different. So in a guy circle, there might not be much empathy. It's more results driven. What we gonna do? What's the play? So when a woman comes to a man expecting what they do on, as he calls it, on Venus, you expecting a man to basically approach the situation and handle it like women do, that's where the disconnect is. So I think that's why they feel unheard, is because men in our own circles, it's not much empathy unless you're actually right in what you feel. One of the biggest joints, I remember I had, like, first when me and my wife was together, and I would have these certain feelings, or I'd be upset or anything like that, something bothering me, and I would say, it doesn't matter, because usually most times us men, we feel like our feelings don't really matter. And so she would say, your feelings are valid basically because you feel them. They do matter because they're there, they're present, they're real. And I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Because for the most part, we trying to suppress it and we trying to move on to whatever else is next. So for men, if you're right, like, oh, you go to your friends, or you link up with them at the bar, or you go to the crib or whatever, and y'all just chopping it up, and you're expressing how your girl made you feel a type of way. If you're right and they agree, then you gonna get that empathy, like, yeah, bro, like, yeah, for real, yeah, she wildin', she shouldn't even be on that type of time. But if you wrong, bro, you overreacting, you wildin', son, you about to let a good thing go. You know, like, there's not gonna be empathy there. But in the women's circle, if sis is dead wrong, she will be validated no matter what. She'll be validated no matter what. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's bad. Because ladies, y'all know your friends be hyping you up, putting you, gassing you up. And you let a good dude walk right out because you felt like something was off, or your intuition, had you thinking that he was cheating or something. And then you start going through his phone because your friends say, yeah, that's a good idea. I feel you. Instead of some of them saying that's an invasion of privacy. I don't think that's a good idea. But because they feel you and they're pumping and gassing you up, you like, yeah, I should do this because I'm not wrong. They understand me. So maybe I'm right. Yeah, let me go dig through his phone and see what's going on. And then now it's a broken trust, and now relationship is dead. Not saying that this is gonna happen all the time. Obviously, it's case by case basis. But I'm just saying how sometimes, your feelings can steer you in the wrong way. It's not always a good thing for people to just come by and validate your feelings, because your feelings can be wrong. So, that's why I think there's the disconnect is there as well. And it's so crazy because the other day I saw a clip of Jason Wilson. He was on a pod with Lecrae, and he was explaining how men, we have the 8, I think he said like an 8-color crayon box, but the women, they got the 64. So as a man, she's hitting you with, like, I guess each emotion is like a different color. She's hitting you with lime, and you trying to get the forest green, and you not understanding why we're not matching. What's the issue here? You get purple, and she got violet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like different colors that women have to express their full-on emotions. But us, we just got the basic anger, you know what I'm saying, sadness, certain things like that. So it's just like a disconnect is real, like, and it causes issues in a relationship because we don't know how to communicate. Or the Bible says, get wisdom, and in all that getting, get understanding. And understanding is very key, especially when you're dealing with relationships. Because if you can understand the person, you could get them to open up. You could get them to trust you even more. What else? Um, and so a issue um that women a mistake they make is when we go quiet, when we get silent, they take it as, we don't care what they saying, or, well, as he says it, that one of the big challenge for men is to correctly interpret and support a woman when she's talking about her feelings, and the biggest challenge for women is to correctly interpret and support a man when he isn't talking. Silence is most easily misinterpreted by women, and I think they don't understand why we may stop talking. Like, it's not to invalidate or to say, I don't care about what's going on right now. And I think this is one thing where with my wife and in our marriage that I always tell her, like, you're not understanding why I go quiet. Shoot, what I've learned is most times silence is better. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't say nothing at all. So, and I told her, I'm like, yo, like, it's from The Incredibles. It's such a fire line. If you want to get out of the hole, first you got to put down the shovel. So I would tell her, I'm putting down the shovel. I'm not talking no more. Because you're not getting what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to go back and forth. Let's reconvene. Let's stop right here. Let me get some time. So in this case, I'm trying to go to my cave, as he talks about in the book. I'm trying to go to the cave. I need to step away from this situation. I need to think about what you said. I need to go talk to God and go pray. You know what I'm saying? For him to work on my heart so I could come back and really understand the stuff you expressing. So one of the big issues that I see women sometimes, y'all try to keep on antagonizing. I keep trying to figure out why he's quiet and asking questions, more questions, and it doesn't really give you good results because what he's trying to do is decompress or he's trying to disconnect. Let me just take some time because clearly we going in circles, or it's like I'm talking to a wall. So it's not really helping. So it's our time to process. And the book talks about how when a man withdraws into his cave, a woman just doesn't understand what is happening. She naturally tries to get him to talk. If there's a problem, she hopes to nurture him by drawing him out and getting him to talk about it. This is something like with my wife. I was telling her, I'm like, yo, she's like, why you so quiet? Like, what's wrong? Nah, I'm good. Well, you seem easily agitated. Like, what's going on? You mad at me or something? Nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Nah, something is wrong. Yo, can you leave me alone? like, dang, leave me alone. Just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? You keep asking me questions, and this joint is gonna get on my nerves. Leave it alone. But in this book, it talks about how when a woman goes into that cave and you try, because now you in his space, and you asking 50 million questions trying to get an understanding of what he's got going on, but you gonna get, well, as he calls it, getting burned by the dragon. Yo, back up, move, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's sometimes I think it's best to respect what the man is saying. Yo, just I'm good. Now, granted, us as men, sometimes we say that and really is something going on. But this goes back to how things are different between men and women. Most times, man, we're not gonna really talk about our problems. So your best bet as a woman, give him space, go do your thing, and when he's ready, he's gonna come out the cave. He's gonna come out and he's gonna tell you what's going on. This is a common thing with me, where I would tell my wife, or I'm trying to get better at telling her, I'm not really trying to talk about it right now. I don't want to talk about it. And so I'm trying to get better at that. But it's a thing where space is just best. I'll come back to you and I'll tell you about it when it's right. Because I need to evaluate my own feelings. You know what I'm saying? I need to figure out what's going on with me. What's the root of this issue? before I even come and talk to you about it. But with men, most times we're not talking to our fellow brother about what's going on, about the stresses of life, about the weight of leadership, about all this other stuff, which is what we should be doing. But most times, our pride, our ego, we don't want to be looked at as weak. In the women's circle, that there is none of that. It's just, what are you feeling? Let's put it on the table. So, he said another reason women get burned by the dragon is when you misinterpret, or when you continue to ask questions, you continue to antagonize. So he gives 6 common abbreviated warning signals. When a woman asks, what's the matter? A man says, I'm okay, or it's okay. A woman may respond, I know something's wrong. What is it? It's common. You know what I'm saying? And the man, and what he says in the book is, instead of a man saying, I'm upset, I need some time to be alone, men just become quiet. So he got some other joints. I'm fine, or it's fine, it's nothing, it's all right, I'm all right, it's no big deal, it's no problem. But with all of these simple, basic responses that men give when a woman asks what's wrong, she asks another question, forcing him to continue to dig and dig and dig. And it's like, yo, I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't. And so I think women, like I said, should just leave him be. If he got something going on and he's telling you like, yo, I don't want to talk about it, or yo, I'm good, just let him know, all right, well, I feel like something is bothering you, but I'm not going to sit here and keep asking you. When you're ready to talk about it, I'm here. That's it. Instead of continuing asking what's wrong, clearly something's bothering you. You've been sitting here moping around all day. Clearly he's not ready to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So give him space. And I always say, me and my wife, we will talk about it like, yo, sometimes some sleep, some space works wonders. And I remember a time when I was in my feelings and my wife handled the situation well this time. And I was just in my feelings and she was like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing, I'm good. But she already know, like, all right, yo, you've been in this little funk for a couple hours already. Like, clearly something is bothering you. She's like, all right, I'll leave you. I'll give you some space. She'll even ask me sometimes, too, do you need some space? And I don't know why I always mishandle that question instead of just telling her, yeah, I need some space. Because I'm thinking, like, I don't want to tell her that because then she's going to think she's the problem. You know? But she'll ask me sometimes. Sometimes I'll give her, like, nah, I'm good. And then she'll just be like, you know what? I'm going to just give you space anyway. And then one time, she did that. She took Isaac up, went in the bedroom, and I hear them in there laughing. I hear Isaac goo gaga and all of this crap. I got off this couch. I went and peeked in the bedroom. What's going on? Sounds like a lot of fun is going on in here. And then eventually told her what was going on. So that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it's best to just leave it alone. Go ahead and do your thing. And when he's ready, he'll talk. What else? So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I got from it. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's pretty much. There's more to it about speaking different languages because he even talks about when communicating and the importance of not, throwing blame on one another. Because that's another thing too, where us as men that we make a mistake of when women talk, we hear blame, right? And so it's like if I hear my wife talking about how much she wished her life was different. We take that and we make it like, oh, so you blaming me. You know what I'm saying? But I think the issue is because it goes back to what he was talking about, and like what we talked about in the first pod with the Mr. Fix It. Men, with the women we love, we really want to give you the best. And so we throw that Mr. Fix It cap on, and we think we making situations better, but most times y'all just want to be heard. And so when we always running to be a savior and things of that nature, that's why it's easy to hear when your woman is complaining, you make it about you. And you make it, oh, she's displeased with me. She's not pleased with me, or whatever it is that I'm doing. And he talks about women to assure the man that you're not blaming him, to tell him and give him things that you appreciate about, like, yo, I'm glad that I was able to get this off my chest and talk to you about it and things of that nature, because that allows him to understand, all right, so she's not blaming me, and I actually am helping the situation by listening. All right, cool. But like I said, we make the mistake and we start taking it personal. And this is another issue too, because like for me and my wife, ever since we started dating, we wanted to make sure honesty was a pillar of our relationship. Because if I can handle her honesty well, I get trust. If I handle honesty well, we create safe space. Safe space, you get truth. And so if I mishandle it, it's going to be something that you think about the next time. And I don't want her to think, he didn't really handle that well last time. We got in an argument. He made it about him. I don't want that. I want her to be able to come to me and just keep it a whole stack. We talk this thing out. I'm not perfect. I'm not somebody that every time my wife come to me, I could fully just, oh, sure, babe, what's going on? And I could just go ahead and just listen without giving advice or without trying to fix it. I'm not perfect all the time. But I am glad we have created that space. Now, I just got to work on doing my part and being honest, saying, yo, I'm feeling like this. I need you to step back. I need some distance. I need you to go over here. You know what I'm saying? And being honest and open. But I guess I'm still struggling with the conflict of assessing my feelings. And then, because I'll say I'm good because I'm hoping that it'll go away. You know? But yeah, so, I mean, it is what it is. Ain't nobody perfect. All we could control is that we keep working, you dig? So, that's all I got. That's all I got for y'all today. If you got to this point of the pod, of the episode, hit the like, turn your bell notifications on. You know what I'm saying? Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff, this information. Let me know how it's worked for you in your marriage, your relationship. You know what I'm saying? Put your people on. This is for you and yours as always. And yeah, me and Wifey will be back on the next episode. We appreciate all the support. The Influence hoodies, I still got them. If you want one, get in the comments. Let me know. And yeah, as always, peace and love, and may the Lord be with you. You hear me?